Hi, lovely people. So here today we're going to look at housekeeping, what I call the housekeeping section of working with worksheets. So the first thing I want to show you is how you would add a new sheet. So if I go down to this one, see there's a little plus there. This is the easiest way to add a new sheet. So just click on that, and that's your new sheet. Okay, there you go, as simple and straightforward as that. If you want to rename it, if you just double click on it, double click down here, and I'm going to call this my new worksheet. Now, just note as well, you have a limit of 31 characters and you're not allowed to a lot of things like punctuation marks. And if you're trying to remember the limit, if you just remember, I like to think of it as July. Okay, for some reason, I've just picked on July and that's it. If I want to move the sheet within the workbook, now I'm just going to add something to it so you can kind of see it. So let's say just put in Monday, click on this one, just so we have a little bit of text in it. Okay. Now, if I want to move the workbook, okay, the easiest way to move it is just go down here to it, okay, and just pick it up, hold down your left mouse button and just drag it, okay. Now, another way you can do it is if you come, again, make sure your mouse is down here around the tab at the bottom, just do a right click, and see there's an option there, fourth from the top, which says move or copy, okay. Now, you could also do the other ones there, but let's keep it simple. So just do right click, move or copy. So I could just say I want to move it to, move it to the end. Okay. And if I want to create a copy, all I have to do is just click on create a copy down there. Okay. So I'm just going to move it to the end. Okay, there we go. All right. So there you are. That's that one moved. Again, I think the dragging is easier. If I want to copy the sheet within the workbook, all right, what I can do is if I come down here, if I press the control key, so I've got the control key pressed, and I also press this one, and then when I bring it over here, you see little pluses on it, and then that makes a copy. And again, that's the easiest way I know of to make a copy of a sheet. Just use the control when you're dragging it. To color it, right click, and then if I just come here to my tab color, okay. Now, if you don't see this menu, it's usually because you haven't brought your mouse right down onto the tab. But if I bring it right down to the tab color, and then let's say I'm going to choose that. I'll choose something bright and orange. There we go. That's it there. Now, you often don't see the color until you click on it. See there, now when I've clicked out of it, you can see how brightly colored it is. If I want to move this one to a new workbook, okay, and one of the reasons why you would move this to use this way to move something to a new workbook is that when you do it this way, all the formatting is retained. So let me just put it up here. If I go days of the week, all right, and I'm just going to use my cell styles up here. I do like a few cell styles. There we go. It's on the home ribbon. So let me just remind you, it's on the home ribbon. There we go. And I go to my cell styles. Now, depending on the version of the ribbon you have, it might have might be all there laid out before you. Just go to cell styles, and let's say just choose heading 1. All right, and then I can just widen my column. So it means that when I copy this across, if I put this into use this way to copy it into a new workbook, it means that all the formatting and the width of columns will be retained. So if I just come down to this one, right click, move or copy, which is here. Now, the default is that it assumes you want to do it within the workbook. So if you want to do it, let's say here, okay, if I click up here, you can see up there, I've got a copy of a file I already have open. I can use that one if I want to copy to an existing file, or if I want to copy it to a brand new one, I can just go to new book. Now, when I click on new book, what I want you to notice is that down here at the bottom, these will all disappear, okay? At the moment, this is called book 1 because I haven't saved it yet, but this will probably be called book 2. So I just go to new book. This one I'm going to copy it to, and I'm going to create a copy. Now, you could move it, but I kind of believe that when you're dealing with IT, it's just smarter just to create the copy. And then if I do click on OK. All right, so you see here now, this is a brand new file up here. See, it says book 2, and I just have my one worksheet down at the bottom. And then for me to come back into my original file, I just come down here, I look at my little Excel icon down here at the bottom. There's my book one, where I had all of my bits and pieces. And there you go, and you're back into it again. So if you need to, for example, just send somebody a copy of a sheet, and all you want to do is just send them that copy, you don't want to send them the entire file, this is the best way to do it because it retains all the formatting. Now, if you want to hide a sheet, just do a right click and hide. Now, down here at the bottom, you kind of see it's down here, all right? You'll see the hide is live, but the unhide is not, okay? And the unhide being that color tells me that there's no files hidden. So if I just do a right click down here and I go to hide, okay, so what happens here is that it disappears, okay? It disappears out of my current file. Think of it as, you know, that instead of having a document on top of the desk, you put it into a drawer, okay? Because it won't require CIA level cryptography to pull it back. So if I just come down here, right click, you see now the unhide is kind of now live, which means that I actually have hidden files in it. Okay, so I just do a right click, unhide. There's the one I hid it a few minutes ago, and click OK. And we're back into it again. Okay. And then the last bit of this is that if you want to delete a sheet, now please bear in mind, if you delete a sheet, you know, I often say it's a bit like Dougal in Father Ted, and I might put a link to that in the post. It's a real undo. You can't undo deleting a sheet. So just to bear that in mind, you know, just if you're going to delete it, there is no undo. So if I do a right click and then I go delete, it says up there, delete again. See there, I'm going to tell, it tells me you'll permanently delete the sheet. Do you want to continue? Now, that doesn't mean that you can get it back if you want to. It means that, you know, there's no undo on it. And so you need to be well aware of that. So I'm just going to say, yes, I'm going to delete this. There we go. And it's all gone. And if you look up here, my undo is not available. Okay, so if you look up there, it's not available. So just be aware of that. Okay, hope you find this useful. Mind yourself and take care. Bye.